Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fishing on Lone Star. My name is Jeremy, and this is your Texas weekly update. Fishing in North Texas, it's gotten cold lately. I'm going to give you a breakdown of the last 2 weeks. Yes, I'm combining two because fishing's been a little slow. Hasn't been much to report from the previous week, but I'm still going to go through and give you the details and the update of 3 different lakes, 3 different bodies of water. Okay, so we're going to go with the large lake, a small neighborhood lake, bank fishing, and then we're going to end on a mid-sized lake. We'll talk about between a week what the water temperatures were, baits I used, what I did catch fish on, where I believe fish were that I did not catch them, and then also ending on a high note, what happened yesterday while I was on the water. Today's Monday. You're probably going to watch this video on Tuesday by the time it gets uploaded. My effort is to bring you these weekly updates in a very quick, efficient manner. So literally, this is going to be a one-take video. So hopefully I get it right. Hopefully I don't fumble up my words, and we don't have to edit this thing. So let's roll into 2 weekends ago at a big lake in North Texas called Lake Louisville. You've likely seen it or heard of it. Most recently, the Bassmaster Elite Open Series tournament was here, and let's just say everyone pretty much struggled. I mean, Scott Martin struggled, Brandon Palnick somewhat. No, actually, did Brandon Palnick struggle? I can't remember if he was struggling out or not. Brian Latimer did not do, he did okay. I think through the first or second day, he actually caught a 5-fish limit, which was rare at Lake Louisville in that tournament. Most professional fishermen fishing all week of practice and fishing there in the tournament, most didn't even catch 5-fish limit. So it tells you how tough that lake has been fishing. But I needed to go somewhere close and somewhere local. It's literally like 15 minutes from my house. So I went to Lake Louisville, met up with my boy Justice from Red Day Outdoors. Shout out. Go check out Red Day Outdoors on Instagram and YouTube. But met up with him. We fished for, probably about 4 or 5 hours on Lake Louisville and did not even get a bite between the two of us. But we do believe, and we did kind of find and see some fish actually in kind of that 5 to 8 foot range around road beds. So use your electronics, use your maps, find road beds. That's where we at least saw fish and a lot of activity and movement. Also in kind of that 12 to 15 foot range of creek channels and coves or pockets leading into those areas. There was also a lot of bait fish there. Again, we just didn't get any bites. So that's it for Lake Louisville. Okay, big lake, caught nothing. That same day, which was last Saturday or Sunday, went then that evening to a local neighborhood. I would almost say pond, but it's definitely a lake. It's probably close to 15 acres or so. So pretty big. Technically, a lake is anything, I believe, bigger than 2 acres. I usually say a pond, if you can cast to the middle of the body of water from the shore or from the bank, then that would be a pond. This particular body of water, you cannot. Again, it's about 15 acres or so. But we fished there for about 2 hours on Saturday evening and only got 1 bite and landed that fish. I'll show you what it came on. Actually, it was a pretty unique little boot tail or paddle tail swim bait by Game Day Lures. That's a 4-inch. They also make a 5-inch version, and was throwing it on that EWG hook. But Game Day Lures, check them out. I'll leave their link below. But this is a full body, not a hollow body, but a full body paddle tail swim bait and a really cool color. Throwing that on a 5/0 EWG screw lock hook. So I caught 1 fish on it. And what was interesting is back to Lake Louisville, water temps were around 54 degrees. Okay, so relatively cool, just a week ago. Went to a smaller body of water, which means the water would be colder, and caught that fish in literally like a foot of water. It was right at sunset. There was bass that were chasing bait fish up against the bank, and that fish was crashing kind of the shoreline to catch bait. Threw that little paddle tail up there and smashed it. It was only maybe like 1.5 pounds, so nothing to brag about. You did not even see a video of it. It was also too dark to even take a photo. Actually, I did share the photo on Instagram, so you can go check out that lure right there and a fish's mouth over on Instagram. But it was almost too dark to get a video of it. So, but I just thought it was interesting that colder water, smaller body of water, that fish was up shallow. Just found that interesting. So take note of that, you bank anglers. And then yesterday, so what's today? Today's the 21st of December, coming up on Christmas. So yesterday would have been the 20th. I believe December 19th was the shortest day of the year in terms of daylight. So our days are now going to start getting a little bit longer, and the sun's going to be out longer. But yesterday was the 20th. It was probably 36 degrees when I hit the water. Fished for about 4 or 5 hours. I think it got up to maybe the mid 50s. So water temps, interestingly enough, were 46 degrees up shallow. And then we're 49 main lake, actually 48.4 in the main lake. So the reason I'm telling you that is because this was a mid-sized lake and was a week difference from fishing Lake Louisville. Lake Louisville is 54 degrees. This kind of mid-sized lake between probably 400 and 500 acres was 46 to 49 degrees. So quite a bit difference. I mean, anywhere between 5 to 8 degrees difference. And within a week, the temperatures didn't change very much. That just shows you how much the smaller lakes are cooling down faster than the bigger lakes right now. Although the bigger lakes, the water temps are dropping as well. All right, so let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday, I fished up shallow, and I was throwing swim baits, swim jigs, around hydrilla and lily pads. Didn't even get a bite, didn't even see a fish. All right, so then I moved out to a main lake point, and quite honestly, was the first fish that I've ever used and caught a lipless crankbait. It's just not one of the baits that I have a lot of confidence in. It's honestly not. But I was watching a video recently, shout out to Billy Lawson, your Lake Fork guide. I'll leave his channel below as well. So I'm gonna leave Red Day Outdoors, I'm gonna leave Game Day Lures, and I'm gonna leave your Lake Fork guide all down below. But I was watching a video that he had shared, and he was showing the red eye shad by Strike King, along with some 6th Sense lipless cranks. But one thing that he made mention of is on a sunny day, which yesterday was, that he likes throwing chrome with blue and feel like it just really excels in sunny days. So that's what I tied on to start the day, just in anticipation that the shallow water bite was not there. I moved out to about 5 to 6 feet of water, but the slope was like this. So 15 feet over here. It went up to maybe 5 or 6 feet up here, and there was a reed line here. Okay, so here's your water level. Reed line, 5, 6 feet of water, slope down to 18. My boat was positioned here, and I was throwing down the reed line kind of along this ridge. That kind of helps you. Wind was also blowing into those reeds. So my thought process was maybe the wind plus the fish, bass, were pushing bait fish up on that ridge and using that as some way of a convergence area. I thought that I had gone over graphing what looked like a pretty big fish. So I went past it, put spot lock on, turned around, made a couple of casts, yo-yoed that Strike King red eye shad, was using the brand new tactical glass bass rod, and landed a pretty good fish. 4.7 pounder. It was a chunky, healthy fish. That video is to come. Give me a couple days. I'm trying to get caught up on videos, but that video is to come, and you'll see it. If you're following me on Instagram, you've already seen it there, but not the actual footage in the video. But I'm going to talk about the yo-yo retrieve. I'm going to talk about in that video why the tactical glass bass rod is what you should be using for lipless cranks. In this particular case, it's the 7.4 model, so I would also throw medium diving cranks and chatterbaits. But TFO rods, make sure you check those out, or at your local Shields. They should be getting these in stock soon. They literally were just released last week. And yes, this video is brought to you by Texas Shields Outdoors. Meant to mention that in the beginning, but if you've not yet stopped into your local Shields, the one here in Dallas is loaded with a phenomenal fishing department. Great people. The whole experience, the store is pretty darn awesome. I find myself in there all the time. Even when I don't need anything, I'm still up there looking just to look, because it's a fun store to be in. So go check out Shields.com, or Texas Shields Outdoors is their outdoor Instagram page, or just the Colony Shields is the one here in Dallas. So be sure to check that out. So that's it, guys. What I've found is that right now bass are still chasing moving baits at both bodies of water. I know the jig bite is working in some areas as well. So my recommendation would be to throw maybe deeper diving cranks, throw lipless cranks, One thing that I probably should have thrown, because I did graph over some fish in maybe the 17 to 20 foot range, and I actually saw a lot of fish out there. I just couldn't quite get them to bite, so I was throwing a deeper diving crankbait. So let's go ahead and do this without hitting my rod on something. But was throwing that 6XD on, what is this, the 710 Tactical Elite cranking stick. So 710, throwing that big bait. Did not get any bites. I did not get any bites doing that. Went to a lipless crank out deep. I probably should have thrown a blade bait. That might have actually worked to trigger bites, and I would have yo-yoed it as well. I did try a big spoon. That didn't work either. So the only luck I had was on that lipless crank in about 5-6 feet of water. And the previous week was on the paddle tail swim bait in even shallower water. So that tells me that bass are still up shallow chasing. I'm not sure how much fishing I'm gonna be doing, because this coming weekend is Christmas. I would be fishing, but we'll be traveling. I may try to get out and do at least a little bit of pond fishing, or pond, small lake, etc. So you guys stay tuned for that. I got a bunch of videos coming this way, so make sure you like, make sure you subscribe for more weekly updates like this. We're coming up on a good time of year. We're coming up on the spring. It'll be here very quickly, probably within 60 days, maybe 70 days in Texas. So the spawn is coming. It's gonna be awesome. But in between now and then, still get out and fish. It's gonna be cold, but fish are fat and big right now. You can catch some big fish. So thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. If nobody's told you today, God loves you, and so do I. Peace out.